Welcome to my Bajerski YouTube channel. I've got a whoopee cushion underneath me. Whoopee! It's not a whoopee cushion, it's a cushion. Look, it's a cushion. Oh, I'm getting old. Oh, those piles. What are piles? Shut up, man. Get on with your work. Right, guys, welcome. This morning we're going to talk about the process of crystals that Mark works with, all the way through the process, how it starts, what I do, till the very end, till you get the product. So this is how it works. So normally what I do is through the day I'll sit and meditate at some point, whether it's having a coffee or whether it's in this room or wherever I am, I'll just sit and meditate. I'll take that as part of the process of creating my first crystal, and that is attuning to what I feel is a good crystal at this moment. So there are thousands of crystals, but for some reason I just attune to a certain crystal and think this is the crystal we need. Now that crystal isn't for the moment, that crystal is attuned for the next anywhere between 3 and 6 months. Okay, so I'm attuning to what the frequency is going to be like in 3 to 6 months. This is how I try and attune to things. I don't attune to that moment, or I would be buying directly from a shop and then picking them up that day and selling them. That's not how I work, not how I work with crystals at all. So after I've done that, what I do is I go on to mainstream and I start to look and start to have a feel. Just look for the three. So if I hit 3 things, then that is another message to me to say, okay, this could be the possible crystal. Then I go on to my emails, scroll down, maybe 2 weeks, sometimes 3 or 4 weeks, and just read randomly some of the emails and see what I feel people need as a healing process. So I take on board lots of different thoughts and feelings, but primarily the one of sitting down at the end of the day and just looking at that list. So when I've done all of that, might take about a week, something like that, I bring all them names to the table and I sit down and I then take my cards, my tarot cards, my Rorik tarot cards, and lay a few down under the names of those crystals. See what feels right and why I'm calling for that crystal. Once I've done that, I then narrow the list down to about, I don't know, maybe 10, something like that. Sometimes 14, 15, but it's around about 8 to 10. And then I'll sit and just fully focus and see how it feels. Maybe about another 20 minutes. And then if it feels right, I then write about, like I say, about 6, 7, 8, something like that. And then what I do is I start the work. So I start hunting. So I have people friends who I've been working with for a long time. Those that know not only the industry, but know crystals, understand crystals. So these people are, let's say, ethical, they're moral, and they don't buy from China, nor sweatshops and sweat caves. They buy from reputable people and sources. So that makes me happy. I feel good about that. I have now friends who own caves. I also have friends in places that are where crystals are. That is Brazil. Let's just say all over the world. So I kind of know roughly where crystals are, but I put my feelers out because sometimes I'm shocked by hearing that a crystal is also somewhere else in the world. So I'm always open to that. So let's say, how long? About 2.5 months ago, I had a list. And that list was about, I think, 8 to 10, something like that. And it was crystals that I was feeling that I needed for the coming future. So that's how I started, and then I put my feelers out and told my dealers what I'd like, told the people that work with crystals what I'd like, and told the caves what I'd like. So it takes time, takes a few weeks, but then I start getting images. Images come through and I feel the images, and I might turn a few cards over and say yay or nay. I don't work on just what it looks like, I work on energy. So normally if I turn a card over and I get the sun as the tarot card, that will be a yes. If I get light coloured cards, it's normally a yes. If they're very dark cards, it's normally a no, but I already attuned to that and felt it anyway. It's just a confirmation. So once I've done that and I'm happy with them, like I said, they don't have to be super fantastic, but they have to feel right. And you can feel them no matter where you are in the world. So yeah, I'd say after like the 2.5 months, I managed to source a few, not many, but a few. You know, it would be nice to source 300 or 400 of one, but it's very rare. So I sourced a few. So then I get them all sent to a central location. That location then sends them directly to me. So I'm going to show you how they come to me before I even start the work on them. And these arrived 2 days ago. So I have a dear friend who packs them together and gets them all right. Not the way that you would think. They just put them in bags and then they just give them me, and then I work with them. And I'll go through that process now. So here's the box. And I'm gonna start to show you. So you can come a bit closer if you like. There you go. So peridot is a beautiful crystal. Kunzite is a beautiful crystal. Amethyst is a beautiful crystal. Aquamarine is a beautiful crystal. Some more aquamarine and some more kunzite. Some larimar. And a few pieces of selected. They're actually quite lovely. Some citrines. And some black star. Green kyanite. So that's what's in this box. So here's how. I don't think you can even see me, can you? Okay, so this is how it comes, like this. Okay, so they're picked and selected. So this is green kyanite. Absolutely love it. I struggle to get it, but when I do, I love it. So I put my feelers out, like I said, 2.5 months. And there you go. Not huge pieces, but they're going to be lovely to mount. Gorgeous, eh? And to feel them, they're absolutely beautiful. They're as nice as what I believed they were when I saw and attuned to them. A couple more pieces there. Gorgeous. So I'm extremely pleased with them. Really, really pleased with them, and I'm going to be really excited to see how these mount. Gorgeous, eh? Green kyanite is an amazing crystal. I think yeah, it's black star. Gorgeous crystal. I should talk about this. Lovely, lovely quality. And just a few pieces, but enough to get going and start the process. Larimar, some lovely pieces of Larimar. harder and harder to get these days, quality-wise. You know, getting good quality larimar is really, look at that. That is gorgeous. Always like some beautiful amethyst. So these are slightly bigger. I like small pieces, petites, and I like bigger pieces too. So, gorgeous. Yummy. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Really high quality. Really beautiful. They feel amazing. Wow, I'm already feeling the energy from that. It's gorgeous. Bit of morganite, which is, again, a struggle for me to get, but my beautiful people found and got some gorgeous pieces. It's beautiful. This is the problem with some of these crystals, when they're not wrapped as well as they should be. That's a shame, but I'm still going to use this. I'm going to probably somehow create something with this one. Anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, just a little, this one's cracked, but hey ho, this is life. These things happen, and I will use them anyway. Nice. I mean, not high quality, but pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, they're fair. I would say they're pretty fair. On first glance, I'm like, are they? But actually, they're pretty fair. I'm quite pleased with them, actually. The more I'm looking at them, the more I'm loving them. I'm like, I'm always a bit like, okay, just take your time, look at them, don't get too excited, but actually they're lovely. So here is natural Herkimer Diamonds. Again, really hard to get hold of, just a little bag full of Herkimer Diamonds. What I'm going to do with them, I'm not sure at the moment. They may go into trios, they may go into Moldavite and Herkimer, or they may go into Tektite and Herkimer. I'm not sure just yet. Like my mind's going round and round. So some natural aquamarine. Again, quality-wise, okay, not bad. I'll actually look forward to mounting these. Beautiful. Oof. Wow. Wow, great energy. Look at them. They're gorgeous, eh? Wow. I'm getting so many beautiful feelings from these crystals. It's unreal. Oof. Faithful black tourmaline. Thank you very much. Gorgeous. Look at that. Hey, isn't that gorgeous? A nice bag full of maybe 20. So as you can see, not that many. Some more aquamarine. These have been polished. The other ones were natural. Nice. They feel great. Lovely. Lovely feeling on them. Nice. Yeah, they're gorgeous. Wow, they feel lovely. Excited about them. They feel great. Come on, mate. They're lovely. So, yeah, that's it. I mean, not a lot, but enough for a great beginning. Enough for a great start. So, Yeah. I think this is pink kunzite. I didn't show you this. It's strange in the room today. Funny feeling I get in the room. Weird. Okay. Yeah, I think spirit's in the room, but I'm like, pink kunzite. So, wow, beautiful. Oh, my hairs on my back of my neck has stood up as well. Nice. Lovely jubbly. So, okay, let's talk about this now. So, now that we've spent about 3 months in the preparation, I initially felt what I wanted, and now they've arrived, or at least some of them. So now that they've arrived, I like them. Now they'll come out of their bag and I'll start to work on them. First of all, I'll give them a clean, and the clean will be with, depending on what crystal it is, I use cleansing techniques on them, and I use a little super fine toothbrush, which is made of organic, it's not plastic, it's organic. So they're like rushes, or maybe I can show you. It doesn't matter, but I brush them gently. I use an organic cleaner, which is very gentle, and I just clean them so there's no abrasiveness at all. It's just cleaning them, that's all. Once I've cleaned them, they'll then go into probably sea salt, or they'll go under the sun, or they'll go through, it depends what I feel with each batch, with each lot. So take for instance with these I'll probably first of all give them a gentle clean, and then I'll put them out onto the balcony and leave them on a tray to dry, and then the sun will energize them. That's the first beginning. Then from there I'll bring them in, put them into the salt, which is the dry salt and the sea salt, and then from there probably rice, and then from there I'll see how it feels. May give them a cleanse with Palo Santo or sage, whatever, and then when I'm happy with them, what happens then, I begin the work. So I'll get them, so I'll get the handful. So this is what I'll be working on in the next week or so. So I'll hold them in my hand like this, and I'll just sit and attune to their energy. And as I'm attuning to the energy, I'll have a piece of paper and I'll have a pen next to me. And as I'm attuning to it, I'll write down jaw, eye, stomach, whatever feeling I'm getting. Like these, I'm getting my stomach straight away. So I'd write down stomach. So the process of healing is in the stomach at the moment as I'm holding them. Breath work, so I'm writing down, this is good for breath work and deep breathing meditation, because I can feel my breath starting to, wanting to breathe. So healing properties for the chest, healing properties for anybody who's having trouble with their chest, so and so on. So this is how I would be beginning the work. And then once I've attuned to kidneys and liver, I can feel kidneys and liver already. I can feel the work being done now. I'm holding them. So you get the properties of the crystal. Okay, so this is how I get the properties of the crystal. Once that's been done, I'll do it 2 or 3 times. Once that's done, because some days you can go back to it and it can give you another feeling of a different part of the body, because what it worked on today may have healed that, and now it's working on something else. So the crystals are now working on this. So I'll do that for a couple of 3 days, and then I'll write it down. Sometimes I'll remember it, so I might not need to write it down. Sometimes I've got a good memory on a certain crystal and think, okay, this is working. And sometimes you've got an idea of a lot of the crystals work similar, but not always. That's why I'm saying books like the Crystal Bible, you can't always depend on that, because we're all very different, and crystals are very different because they come from different grounds, they come from different places. So that's my take anyway. You might get upset with me, but that's my truth. So just to be sure, a few days. Once that's done and you think, now I can feel my ears healing and heightening. So again, good for hearing, good for hear, good for balance, okay? Okay, so once I've done that and I'm happy with that, then I go on to the third stage, and that stage is putting healing into them. So I look at my list and then I hold the crystals and then attune to the universal energy. And I ask, what do you want to put into these crystals? I am open and I am ready. So then the energy comes through, whether it's 5 or 6 in one hand and 5 or 6 in the other, I hold or open my hands out and I kind of look up slightly, and then I start to breathe as I would and allow that energy to pour through me and into my hands. And sometimes you'll find my hands closing to allow the energy to enter into the crystals. Even if your hands are open, they will still go into the crystals. But I sometimes do this, and it might be for 10 minutes, 15, an hour, 2 hours. It might be through meditation. It might be just doing the healing work, the pure energy crystal healing work. And then when I'm happy with that, it's like a meditation for me, receiving healing, and then it goes into the crystals. And then I'll write it down, what was that healing session. And predominantly you get to know what that energy of healing that came through. So you'd write it down. That was an energy healing for stress. So I was de-stressing. I could feel myself de-stressing. So you write that this crystal now has an energy memory for healing stress. Get it? And then I'll sit down another day with them and feel and think, wow, I'm tuning to psychic awareness. I'm seeing things. So you write this down. It's good for psychic work, and so on. So after a few days, there's now maybe 10, 20 hours of healing work gone into these crystals. They've been cleansed, they've been monitored, they've been measured, and now they've had memory of crystal healing into them, pure energy healing into them. So when I feel they're ready, I leave them outside for a little bit longer in the sun, just a final cleanse, and then they go back into the bag, and then they get shipped to Bali. When they're in Bali, they then get mounted as an individual crystal, or they might be put into 2 crystals as one, depending on what crystal it is. So this will come back one day as a piece, wrapped lovely in Balinese silver, high quality, and it will have a stamp on that says MB. And then it will be sent back. And then as a final couple of 3 hours, I'll finish the work on these. And when I finish work on them, a bit more energy into them, a bit more cleansing into them, they then have a photograph taken of them, and then they go straight onto the website. They get put into a bag, not touched, and then left where they're meant to be left. And then as soon as somebody sees it on the website, they buy it. Now the process of me getting this crystal or this bag of crystal is, first of all, I have to pay for my men to go and source them. So that's one payment. The next payment is actually buying the crystals. Now buying the crystals, he has to cherry pick these. So out of thousands of these pieces, he picks 15 or 20. Okay? Once he's done that, he has to pay. Then he has to wrap them up and send them direct to the source where they're all at one place. So that costs to send them. And then from there, they all get put together, all of the other crystals, and then get sent to me, which is another payment that I have to pay for sending them all the way here. Now, before they get here, I have to pay customs duty on that, which is round about 20%. Sometimes they scam you and charge you a whole lot more, and you wonder what that means. And you ask them, why are you charging so much when, you know, the amount of money that I paid for these crystals is this amount and you're charging me that much? It's like nearly 50%. This makes no sense. But then there's nothing you can do about it. Either that or it gets sent back. So now I've paid customs duty. So now I work on the crystals, and now when I finish working on them, I send them, I wrap them and send them to Bali. Now paying to send them to go to Bali is very expensive. When they get to Bali, they have to pay customs duty that I have to pay. Then they start working on the crystal, each individual crystal that I have to pay my beautiful work staff to work on in Bali. I have to pay for the silver, I have to pay for the my family for making each piece. And then they send it back to me. And now when they come back to me, I have to pay customs duty again in this country to get them back, which is normally anywhere between 800 and 3,000, okay, for just a box full, right? Sometimes they stop it and say, you're not having them. And you have to have them tested, and that's 1,500 euros to test them. So then I say, no, I don't do that, send them back. So then send them back, and then that costs me to pay to send them back. Then I ask them to send them again, and luckily enough, they'll come through, and sometimes it's all hit and miss whether they'll stop them or not. And then they come through, and then I get them, and I'm excited because I haven't had to pay for this craziness, but just the customs duty, so it's crazy. So the duties that I pay is phenomenal. And then once they're ready, once I finish working with them, they go onto the website and you get them. Now, for those that say that my crystals are expensive, if you can't see what I've just told you right now, if you can't see why my crystals cost more money than, say, one that you go to a Chinese shop and buy from a Chinese store, then there is no real hope for me to explain to you that there are some crystals that cost more than others for reasons unbeyond your understanding. So that's the process of a pure energy healing crystal. There you go. And when they come back mounted, gorgeous, like this, stamped MB, so you know that comes directly from me, no fakes or forgeries, all guaranteed that the crystal is 100% genuine and filled with love and healing. So there you go. That is the process. And it takes a long, long time to get that process in production so that you've always got crystals coming all the time. So it's a constant daily work for Mark Bajerski, in and amongst doing videos for you guys, in and amongst trying to run a business, in and amongst trying to ship all products off as all the staff do, and forever creating, always working on crystals daily. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this little kind of workshop on how I work with them, and maybe it's given you some incentive to try and work on some yourself and create your own and take one piece to your jewelers and get it made, and see how that feels. It's quite beautiful, it really is. I'm very, very proud of where we are right now. I really, really am. I've got some beautiful crystals down here that have just been finished and worked upon. I've got Larimar that came through a few days ago. My God, there's so many beautiful pieces down there. I'm about to start work on them. I'm ready to cry now. So there's something in these crystals that are releasing trauma, and I'm going to figure out which it is. I feel like I think it could have been what I've just worked upon. It could have. I'm not sure whether it's Morganite. I'm not sure, or whether it was the Kunzite. Oof, I'll have to figure that one out. But I can feel that right now. Amazing. Oof, okay. I better get on and do some work, guys. Thank you once again for going to markbajerski.com and buying your authentic crystals, pendants, oils, incense, and now teas. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. I mean that. Have a beautiful day.